As it said here, a new challenger appears. Religion. Goonergate Explained. Now, I'm not going to go through this entire article, but I'm just going to give a brief summary.
Good night, Raquel. Why am I looking at this woman's booty?
Uh, I guess because you're a pervert.
I'm not a pervert. How the hell can I not see
Yeah.
it? It's right here.
Sleep well. A new year is a day away. Okay. This picture, or rather a gif of it, or some people say GIF, but whatever. It was a character from a popular video game, and she was dancing around. Well, the unwoke, the as many people call it alt right, although I don't agree with that. But the let's say anti woke, let's say the anti woke community, some looked at that and is like, we don't want this. It's smut. We don't want this. And other people's like, it's just good fun. So these people who said, oh, it's smut, essentially, they were the very religious one, and it is something that had begun to divide the anti woke community.
Okay.
Smash JT here. He says, when you are becoming exactly what you're fighting against, you are no better than those you are trying to stop. Woke ideology and Christian morals are not the same thing. Wrong. Both want to push their ideologies on people who may not necessarily be interested in them. Anyway, it continues like this, right? Whole lot of back and forth and hating on each other, dividing the community. And here I am is like, it's smutty, it's in that direction. But if it's what you like in your games, have at it. I don't care. It's risque, but it's not breaking any boundaries.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot
That's
of
my
games.
take on
There's a lot of games that the women's armor is just might as well be a string. There's a lot of games like that, and they're fun to play.
it. So
And you know,
Melanie Mack was, she's well known, and she was one of the ones who came out against it. She says, it was asked, do gamers want this? And she's like, not me. I like attractive characters, but I don't want to play something with naked butts, boobs, or bulges up in my face. I'd feel like a total loser playing something like that. Myself, no, I don't either. I mean, I want the characters to look healthy looking, but I don't want all that. Male or female, I don't want it.
that is
But I'm
true.
not about to say we shall not have this in our games because that's a bit far reaching. I'll be like, I'm not gonna fuck with that one. It's not on my taste.
Well, I mean, you're right. I mean, people have a choice. They see the game, and if it's something that they don't want to play, they don't have to.
So someone responded to her, what happened? You were not an anti-progressive person. In the end, these liars' faces are being raised. I thought you didn't like censorship since you fought about this for a long time. One more disappointment of these characters just create wars among yourselves. And she replies, I'm a Christian. I oppose making female characters look ugly or masculine or changing their body types. I don't advocate for weird gooner games though. And I take it that's where the term was born from. They started calling people who were in the games like this gooners.
That makes
I
no
think
sense.
I think it's a lot of silly bickering. I mean, we're allowed to have preferences. There are lines, but I don't think it's been crossed yet.
Yeah. What I
So
am
this
against,
this exploded amongst many people, somewhat dividing the community.
well, the thing is I get, you know, not wanting to play a game with a character like that. I get that, but you don't have to. That's the thing. If it's not for you, move on to something else.
Well, yeah, I guess to top it off, that particular animation was an optional thing you could buy for the character in the game, which it made their default animation a dancing one, which
Yeah.
normally, they're just kind of standing there or they're running, right? So
Yeah.
it was completely optional to begin with, even if you have the game and play the game.
So what's the problem then?
Um, I don't know. It's a lot of noise, a lot of nonsense. Maybe, since the anti woke got the tiniest sliver of victory in small ways here and there, they ran out of things to fight about, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Well, okay, there's another aspect here. You get people who are anti woke, and these are people with morals generally, right?
yeah.
But people with morals, you also get people with a stronger sense of morals, and that often ties to Christianity.
Yeah.
Those with a very, very extreme, strong sense of morals oftentimes side with Christianity and become a strong Christian, which furthers their thinking in that direction.
Okay.
So here we have a dividing, a natural dividing of a side, a community. And this was the catalyst that provoked, exposing that divide.
Well, the thing is with anything, there has to be common ground.
And yes,
Um,
I know I butchered the way I put that, but I was trying to speak as eloquently as I could with it.
yeah. Well, with anything, there has to be a common ground, and if they let this divide them, they don't stand a chance against the bigger picture. They really don't, because this is like fighting over pennies in a wishing well. You don't do it. And I think as long as it's optional and you don't have to do that, then don't do it. Enjoy
Well,
the game for
here,
what it is.
I tell you, these are Smash JT's words. He says, gaming is not about morality police. And while I agree with that, I disagree at the same time. And here's why. We oppose all the LGBTQ stuff. One of the many reasons is because we have morals. We have a sense of family, for one. And I believe many of these people have disposed of their sense of family purposely. Many of these woke people, that is. Uh, it is not about morality, police. It is about enjoying the game you're playing. And they should have a base amount of morality in a game as to where it is not obscene, unless it is the obscene you're aiming for, I suppose. So
Yeah.
no, it is not about morality police, but at the same time, that is an aspect that should always be kept in mind when developing games. Now, not to the extreme that you can't show a character like that picture, doing a dance. I think that's a step too far. You shouldn't police it to that extent.
Well,
And
you
then
have
here you have someone shaming Smash JT, going, he's married and children, and he's saying these things. He's for this, and no, okay. Even if they disagree, you should never shame the other, content creators. You
yeah.
should no. That's also a step too far.
Well, I don't
That's no
know.
longer that's no not different than the Alyssa beast. You know,
True.
the murky cunt beast.
Well, I think they get so wound up on Twitter and everything else that they're just spouting stuff trying to hurt each other. You know.
Yeah, okay. As they say, they need to touch grass. But with that being said, you read this and you will still naturally pick a side, whether you might not even realize it, but you will naturally pick a side, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, you can look at that and go, well, that's distasteful. That's not for me. But to go, that's not for anyone
Well,
is a step too far.
just
Now,
like,
the argument could be made about all these LGBTQ games that, well, you just fought for our side because you can't police us either, right?
yeah,
Well, first of all, the LGBTQ are a very tiny minority, first of all. And secondly, somewhere at some point, you have to draw some lines. And
yeah.
at the LGBTQ stuff, draw a line there, but not here.
Well, my thing is this: where was all of this when the sex scene was optional in God of War? Where was all
Well,
of this then?
the thing about that is that was before people had YouTube or YouTube channels. So, yeah, if that came out today, there would probably be a similar argument.
Well, that, to me, that part of that game was a lot more X-rated than what I seen here. I mean, I don't know, but that's just my take. And it's
There are
optional.
there are hard lines and there are personal lines. There are lines going, this should not be in a video game. And there are personal lines of going, I don't like this in this game, therefore I will not play it.
Yeah, I mean,
The
that
question, of course, comes up, where do we draw these lines?
I
Well,
think
yeah, go ahead.
I think that the line should be drawn when it comes to enacting scenes like explicit scenes in games that you have to see, that you have no option of not seeing, you see, like that. And to me, if it does not have the option for me not to view that, I'm not going to mess with the game
Well,
because it's just not for me.
to me, there are laws of nature. And here's what I mean. In humanity's natural state, in our natural state, there's no shame without clothes. But in this state, we have commonly accepted one should be clothed. But the natural state is not sitting down preaching about how you are the opposite sex when everybody knows better and trying to indoctrinate young people into it. Whereas you have a sexy woman dancing and you could see her butt cheeks, that's risque. And that's right next to the line, but it's not the line because it is a natural state.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, in some aspects, shame is taught, and risque women have become not so risque these days.
true. And
So, well, I say again, it's risque and it's near, pushing the line. I wouldn't say that's where the hard line is.
true.
When you are literally going against nature, there should be a line.
Yeah, there should be a hard line when it comes to that. To me, as if you got a game that's sexualizing children or animals or anything like that and it's not optional, what
That
in the
picture,
hell?
that picture is a bit much, but it
Yeah.
is fun. It is funny. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. I'm
But
glad there's some humor to this.